Exams and fun mix just as good as oil and water. Or that's what I thought until I turned all my exams into a video game. And the reason I found this effective is because I have to apply so much willpower to actually start studying and stay focused, but completely none of these issues with video games, as you could probably relate to. And because of this, how games can suck all of our focus and time. I wanted to see if I could transfer the elements of a video game into how I prepare for exams to make it more fun. And here's the exact system that worked for me. First, in video games, you can play for a few hours and you're already a millionaire king, whatever. But in real life, you're faced with this. So games make it seem like you're having success, but on steroids. And as you can imagine, it's obviously hard to get that same sort of quick accomplishment in studying. Usually you have to wait a few weeks or months or until the exam results come out. But there is one way that I got around this, and this was by tracking my mistakes. And by this, I mean having a mistake or error list where you track down every single question that you got wrong. And it's a nice and really motivating way of showing you the questions that you used to struggle with, but now no longer do. And more specifically, when I was revising for exams, I would do as many practice questions as possible. And then I would write down every single question I got wrong into my notebook or laptop. And it might seem a bit counterintuitive to write down a list of reasons why you suck at the subject.
They ask you how
but the mindset that I had was that for every question I write down, that is one less question that I'll get wrong on the exam. But in other words, every time I write down one mistake, by inverse, I know that I'm making progress. And to make sure that each mistake only occurs once, this mistake list was the main thing that I looked over the day before the exam. Another appealing thing for video games is that they will list out all the levels that you have to complete. So you can see right in front of you everything you need to do. No surprises. And let's just say I complete some of the levels, maybe the easy ones. Then I kind of feel the need to finish all of them, since I kind of want that nice green color, you know? And I use this exact same logic to motivate myself to do practice exams one year. So I had the goal of doing 10 practice exams. And so I got a folder with 10 or so plastic pockets. And each time I finish one exam, I will put it in. Groundbreaking, I know. But this is like completing one level in a game. And it can be very visually satisfying to see how far you've come as opposed to how far you need to go. Especially when I've done like 4 or 5 exams, I'm already halfway, so I might as well just finish all of them. So apart from exploding your OCD, games also suck you into a flow state. And this is a state where we lose sense of time. And this is why games are so addictive in the first place, because they keep you constantly progressing without feeling too bored or too challenged at the same time. And as boring and overstated as it sounds, the way to constantly progress when preparing for exams is by focusing and understanding the basics. And more specifically, a set of summary notes is always a great option. But don't just jump straight into practice exams or questions, etc. And if you're ever not sure of how something works or how something fits together, then just like in a game, how you can search up tutorials to beat a level, for studying it's basically these YouTube channels. And once I'm in the flow state, to make sure that I'm not lost at any stage, I like to have a set of key objectives. And this is what games have to make sure that you know exactly what to do. But studying for exams doesn't really have this, or there might be very broad goals like get at least 80% on this exam or study for 1 hour. And okay, it's a good goal, but it's not very clear what the actionable step is. And so I found it more helpful to have more specific lines of action like so. Here were my goals of writing a better practice essay for my English exam. Notice how each goal is relatively easy to tick off, so I don't feel that overwhelmed or lost. But the ultimate thing that makes games addictive is that they give you a higher sense of purpose. Like you've been entrusted with this role to save this town from these monsters or whatever. And so if you're watching this video right now, it tells me you have the purpose of improving yourself. Now, that might be just to pass a test tomorrow or something further down the line, like getting into a certain course or career. But whatever goal it is, putting it in perspective of a video game can show you that rather than leveling up in the virtual world, it can be just as easy to level up in real life.